This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not helping bad girls set up their websites, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio World.
Northwest Film Forum's Collective Power Fund is now open for grant applications. Grants are starting at $2,000 up to $10,000 for individual or artist collectives. The annual grant cycle focuses primarily on supporting art that incites public dialogue, pushes boundaries, explores genre fluidity, speaks its truth through an authentic perspective, and is often non-traditional, anti-institutional, socially responsible, or disruptive of any existing structures and conventions. Learn more and apply at collectivepowernw.org.
How we doing, Rainier Avenue Radio? This is D Money from Fresh Juice, live on Wednesday nights, 9 to 11 p.m. with new hip-hop and R&B every week, along with my co-host, Pint-Sized Patron and ID Yourself. This week on the program, April 13th, we're bringing on Marshall Hugh of the Marshall Law Band. Recently, he has done a TED Talk. He has been on BBC, touring in London town, and he's right here from Seattle, and he'll be here in the studio April 13th on Fresh Juice. Tune in at 9 p.m. Hip-hop, R&B, D-Money, Pint-Sized Patrol, and ID Yourself. Marshall Hugh live April 13th, 9 p.m.
1, 2, get down.
What's up, big and little homies? This is Masvita Maraire, host of Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio World, your one-stop shop for Seattle sports. We cover preps, we cover college, we cover pro, we cover it all. Huskies, Mariners, Seahawks, Garfield, South, Roosevelt, Petro, King County. This is where you want to listen to for all the sports that's happening in Seattle. Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio World.
See a bad
Atlantic Street Center has been serving the children, youth, and families of the Seattle King County area since 1910. We partner with families and communities to raise healthy, successful children and youth through services including counseling, early learning, youth development, domestic violence, and education support for school-aged children. Committed to serving the African American community, Atlantic Street Center provides services and support for all marginalized people. Learn more at AtlanticStreetCenter.org.
Rainier Avenue Radio, your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hello. Welcome to Queen Green's Living Live, broadcasted on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is your host, Queen Bree and Robyn T. Hey, Robyn.
Hi, Queen Bree. Hello to everyone listening and watching. We would like to take a moment to acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the first people of Seattle, the Coast Salish people, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself. And we also want to acknowledge the displacement in the central area. If you would like to share your own story of home or land loss and you're a part of the Black community, please contact us at Clean Greens on behalf of the Black Dollar Days Task Force, King County Reparations Project. And we would also like to thank music producer Cuddy Fresh for making our theme music.
Yes, thank you, Cuddy Fresh. That music is such a vibe, and it's such a good vibe to this weather we're having today that I'm trying to take advantage of. So I put on yellow.
I love it.
Also, first of all, okay, I just have to start off with this. Congratulations to Ketanji Brown Jackson. I know she may not watch our show, but I am sending good vibes and prayers out to her. She has just been confirmed to be the next Supreme Court judge. And her journey is just starting. So we just all got to send good vibes and prayers to her. This is so exciting. She won't take her seat until this summer, but just getting through the process was a lot. So I'm happy for her. So congratulations to that.
Yes, it's huge news. It's really big news. And she's done so much before just that process. So it is wonderful news. So that is awesome.
Yes, it is. this weekend, I'm so excited to say that we will be having our youth meet and greet. We are having our youth meet and greet. Oh, I don't even have the address up. We're having our youth meet and greet at the Garden in Rainier Beach between South Shore and Dunlap at noon. So if you know any youth who are interested in learning more about growing their food or um, food sustainability, food and social justice, or growing and eating healthy, please have them join us this Saturday at noon.
And I wanted to mention too, it's open to little kids and middle school and older kids as well. So youth really means, K
Oh, let's
through
throw the
12.
ages out there. I was going to say 5 a.m. I want to specifically say 5 because your kids have to know how to use the bathroom by themselves. But if parents want to stick around with their kids younger than 5, you are more than welcome to come along and join the process. But 5 and up, we prefer because they can use the bathroom and tell us their feelings and their emotions of what's going on through that day. Volunteering. If you know anyone who wants to be a volunteer, we are open to volunteers, so please send them our way. And then our CSAs are open. Robyn, you want to tell them more about the CSAs?
Yes, I do. So when you purchase a CSA, that means you get a weekly share of the produce we are growing at the farm, and you sign up and pay for the season. We actually do have payment plans this year. And when you do that, you support the whole mission and reason why we're doing what we're doing, which is growing food for the community to give away for free. So when you do that, you not only get amazing veggies, but you also support other people getting amazing veggies that have less access or can't afford it. And we have pickups on Saturdays starting in late June. We have another special date to tell you about for that as well. And you can pick up in the Central District or up in Maple Leaf. We have a second pickup location as well. So it's really fun to be a part of it. And you can email us or you can go right to our website, cleangreensfarmmarket.com. And all the information is there. The contact is there. You can even pay right there as well.
Nice. I'm so excited about our CSAs. I'm excited that thank you. If you've already signed up to be a member, it just makes our day to know that so many community members support us and love us. Your support is not going unnoticed. We celebrate it and you every day. And when I say every day, every day. And
It's true.
And that kind of goes into what we don't have a guest today. And I kind of like it when we don't have a guest today because then me and Robyn have time to check in, talk, and then we have a little bit more time to talk about like what we're doing at Clean Greens. And I'm just so excited to talk about what we're going to be talking about because it's about community. And Clean Greens is all about community and how can we be better as a community to each other, to our earth, to ourselves. And me and Robyn, unbeknownst to us, we're kind of always on the same wavelength. Both checked out Brene Brown. So I checked it out via HBO, her series, and Robyn checked it out via her new book, Atlas of the Heart. You can either download her book, her video, not video, what is it called? Audible. Is it in book form? I'm sure it's in book form too. Depending on if you like to listen.
Yes, it is in handheld real book form too, because I saw it at the bookstore.
Nice. I'm one of those old school people. Like I do have Audibles downloaded and I'm going to look, but I like to hold the book in my hand and read and turn the pages. So I hope that never goes away.
I prefer that too, because I like to highlight, because here's the thing, there's some important things in her book and there's some great quotes. We're going to really get into it. It has a lot to do with connection and emotion and learning words to go with our emotions.
Like the first time I watched it, I just watched it and soaked it in. This time I want to go back and watch it. Not only just watch it, but watch it with my kids. This little piece of hair. Watch it with my kids and just really, for me, take notes, but really discuss it with my kids because I feel like this is something, especially in the state of the world we're in, where, 2000, we really become aware. Like some of us have always been aware, but a lot of us are becoming more aware of our emotions, who we are, our community, like the pandemic really opened our eyes to a lot of where we're at and where we could be as a community. So check her out, please, because she talks about emotions. And I know that we think we talk about emotions, but she really talks about emotions, and she really, really broke them down. There's like she said, there's 87 emotions. I think she broke them all of them. I can't even talk all of them down. So on HBO, it's like a series, like TV shows. She goes in and she comes out. I binge watched. I'm pretty, I don't know. How was the book for you, Robyn?
I would say I binged the book, and I have done several episodes of the series, and it is very similar. So you're gonna get the information from both. Either way you take it in, you're gonna get the full picture. But why not just watch it, because it's so easy. And the great thing about this is it is fully research based. Everything is research based. It's not just like off the cuff or what she thinks. It's years and years of studying how people describe and how people name emotions and where we get stuck. And one of the most, see, I agree. I want to watch and listen with my child too. And when I was listening to it, I was like texting her dad, and we just co-parent. And I was like, you need to know this information because it's super crucial. And today, one of the important things that I took away again was when she was talking about you can't read other people's emotions based on how they're expressing themselves. And this has caused so many disconnects for me before, when someone's like, you're mad. No, that's not exactly, doesn't describe what I'm feeling. And then a person will react based on what they think. And we tell our kids based on what we think they're feeling, but we don't really know because we don't express it the same. So this was like super crucial information so that we can describe, no, I'm not mad right now. I'm feeling misunderstood, or I'm feeling disappointed, or I'm feeling stressed. And the other thing she said, and these are my two biggest takeaways, and I will stop just talking all about it because I really like to unpack this a little bit with you. But the other thing, oh my God, I almost lost it. Okay, go ahead, keep talking about it because it's my main point, and I'll get back to it when I think about it again.
Well, you know what? We could talk all day about this book, so I know it'll come back to you. But to touch on what you're saying about, it's about how we can communicate better as a community. And like what you just said, when we base things off of people's reactions and stuff, like I sometimes try to watch how I stand or what I do, because I don't want people to think that I'm mad, because really sometimes I'm just processing the information they're giving me. Sometimes I'm just thinking about dinner, but my face is looking mad, and that's not it. And she teaches you how to communicate and connect, and she talks about how we try to connect with others when we're trying to find ourselves instead of trying to connect with ourselves first. And once we start connecting with ourselves first, then we can better connect with others. And some of the things that I take away from that is like, sometimes when I'm mad, I realize this about myself. I'm not really mad, because she pointed out, sorry, we're so excited, we're getting ahead of ourselves. She pointed out, they did a survey of like over 7,000 people, and they asked them about emotions. And they were only able to identify 3 emotions, which was sad, happy, and pissed off. And so we always think those are the emotions we have when someone is doing something to us: sad, mad, pissed off, when there's so many other emotions like shame versus guilt, and jealous versus envy. A lot of us get those confused. So she even breaks down what those words mean, because we tend to get them confused, where shame is telling someone they're bad. You shame them for doing something, they're bad. And guilt is making them feel guilty for something they did wrong. And then jealous is, she said, feeling jealous is you're feeling the loss of a relationship. Where envious is where you want something someone has. Mm-hmm. And so she just breaks all those emotions down. And it just started making me think of myself, and how when I'm upset about something, it's not that I'm upset. Sometimes it's because I'm hurt. And it was a lot of people in that audience that when we talk about it, when she talked about it, they was like, how many of you guys grew up talking about your feelings or being able to express your feelings? Like we were able to express when we were happy, but I don't remember a lot of us being able to express when we were mad or sad. I know I definitely wasn't able to express when I was mad or sad, only happy. And look, that could be why I'm always like, positivity, let's be happy, let's be this. So, did you get what you were saying? Because I mean, I can go on about this.
Yes, no, I love all of those points actually. And it was really interesting to unpack the envy and jealousy one. And the interesting one that I was kind of really diving into today, and this one is a total trip, but it's so true. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy. When you start naming your emotions incorrectly, you can start creating that emotion. Like if you're mildly stressed or if you're anxious, but you say I'm overwhelmed, you'll become overwhelmed. So it's like the being able to discern and kind of sort through and pick out what emotions we are actually feeling, and even though there's like several at one time, then we are better equipped not to fall into the wrong emotion or create that. And then the interesting part is the way out of overwhelm, or when all your senses are like everything's going too fast, is you have to do nothing for a little bit. And so many people always come in. It's funny because with my child, she'll be like, I just need a minute. And people that don't know her will be like, what should I do? What can I do? Can I help you? And she's like, no, I need like at least 1 whole minute to be quiet. And like people don't want that. They want to fix it and they want to fix it. But overwhelmed, sometimes your brain just needs to like, okay, quick reset. And it's so helpful, it's so helpful, especially like you say, when we're navigating this whole world as kids and then as adults that weren't able to talk about or express emotions. And how many times have I been told I'm overreacting when I'm like, I am appropriately reacting here. You just don't appreciate me having a different emotion right now because you don't want it. It makes you feel uncomfortable when someone is having a range of emotions that's not just like congenial at all times, and we got to allow for that too.
Which she talks about in that with two things. And I found myself in those situations where we talk about respecting other, and you know what, guys, where I feel like it's important to have these conversations. Especially since we've been processing last week a situation that happened in this. I'm not going to go into the situation, but we've been processing a situation that happened to other people. But the fact that we weren't able, it just really made, I was really happy that this came and it came on time. I was like, we all need to see this because we all have these opinions on the situation, but these people were operating off of their emotions. And she made this beautiful quote in there by Dr. Antonio, I'm probably saying his name wrong, Dr. Antonio Demosis. He's an MD and he has an MD and a PhD. We are not necessarily thinking machines. We are feeling machines that think.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times, and when I heard that, it just really was like, how many times have we reacted before we thought about something?
Mm-hmm.
And then we regret it later because then we thought about it. And I was like, we really are feeling machines that think. And once we have these conversations with each other, we're able to communicate better and we're able to understand each other better. And when you talk about people judging your situation, your feelings, your emotions, she talks about that, respecting others' realities.
Mm.
I have a huge thing with that where I'm like, I always trying to make people see the good things in things. And it's not me necessarily disrespecting their realities. It's me trying to fix it, which she talked about is a control mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're trying to control the situation. And it's like talking about not trying to control the situations, but letting people sit with their emotions. And she gives you tools to find out how you can assist when people want to be helpers. How can you assist? Like, Do you want to process this, or you just want to sit here and not talk about it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I loved about it. And it just really helped me too. And it helps, like you said, with your co-parenting, it helps with your parenting too. Because she talks about her kids. Like every
Mm-hmm.
time my kids come home mad or sad about somebody being mean to them, I want to fix it real quick and I want to change their emotions. But now it's like, I'm just going to sit with them and sit in the hurt and let them process it.
Yeah, that's a key point when she was talking about believing people and believing someone else's experience, because we all come from a different biography of where what was our experience growing up with emotions, and were we allowed to talk about them? But yeah, that piece hit me a lot too, when they were like talking about how often people don't believe other people's experience because they're so just consumed with their own experience, so this really will give us tools, to listen and hold space for, and maybe allow a lot more of the full human experience, because that's the thing. She's like, this is the most crucial information about being a human, and we've just been relying on words. And you know what, words in English don't have, like, how sometimes you can't put your finger on what you want to say or feel. There's other cultures and languages that have many more words for other emotions, and I feel like I'm like,
I wish I would have put that one emotion down that lady was talking about, because it made more sense in their culture. But sorry, you got to go watch it to see it.
So I'm looking for that to go further, ways to, really keep pinpointing the different nuances of our feelings, just so we can like understand each other even better. It's so exciting. One of my favorites though is that feeling happy for someone else's happiness. That's so fun.
Yes, it is. If you're just tuning in, you're tuning in to Clean Greens Living Live, broadcasted on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is your host, Robyn T. and Queen Bree. And we are here just talking about Brene Brown's new series and book, Atlas of the Heart. You can catch it on Audible, HBO, or you can get the book at the bookstore. So yeah, I really loved it because of the situation. Because we're so divided by so much. And I just was like, this was so on time, where I was literally myself as an adult confused about the things that we teach our kids and the things that we were taught. And to watch her series and to realize that there's a lot of emotions, a lot of things people do and react because of their emotions. And we just jump to conclusions. We just jump to condemning them and judging them. And it's like, we have not ourselves been able to learn how to communicate our words. And I really would like to start seeing conversations. Look, there it goes. Brene Brown, Atlas of the Heart. It is worth it, you guys. Like, it is so on time when we talk about the emotions that happen at the Oscars, was it? And when we talk about, like, even my emotions, I've even worked on myself. Like, when people do stuff, I start to like not take what I feel at first. I start to like either start to break it down, like that may be not what they meant. You can't go off of what you got. Sometimes you can go off what you feel, but sometimes you have to have a conversation with people. Have a conversation. Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of the communication breaks down. It's having a conversation and knowing how to identify those words. And she helps you identify those words. Like, she even identifies the difference between, there's two different versions of nostalgia. And that was like, 4 episodes in. So I can't go back to telling you the two different things. But she literally breaks down nostalgia, feeling happy or sad or mad. Because a lot of the times, because I wasn't able to process my feelings, when people do stuff, I get mad, I get angry, I want to react. But really it is, you have hurt feelings, they hurt you, and you have to express them and let them know, and that's okay. Another word she talks about, which I cannot stand, but I'm okay with learning to deal with it, is vulnerability.
I knew it.
Ugh, I hate being vulnerable. Ugh, I hate that word. So Robyn, what are some of the things that you do to help you with communicating, or what are the things that you're going to take with you from that? Like, what were you doing before, and what are you going to do to take with that?
Well, one of the main things, I've been working with emotions and figuring out emotions for a long time. And I've been working on this pause before and trying to unpack them, and also not putting just a quick distraction in there, because I come from a recovery background. We study why we try to numb our emotions. And one of Brené's other books, it talks about how numbed we are as a society with like any type of addictions, even if it's not drugs or alcohol, right? So, it could be shopping, it could be gossiping, it could be talking about other people, it could be stress, anxiety, overwork, any way we avoid. And I started realizing like how I would be uncertain, and I would like want to eat food. And so I often journal a lot. I journal a lot, but practicing this pause and giving a little grace and tolerance. And man, I unpacked that vulnerability earlier today, because I just got to that part again. And I was like, I'm totally vulnerable. And I realized, no, I'm not. Nope. I am so scared of doing certain things that would like leave me to be rejected or something. No, I don't have vulnerability down at all. And, honestly, a round of applause to anybody who puts themselves out there and takes a risk with any of their, emotions or any of their creativity in the world, because that's something I'm going to work on. I'm really going to work on that vulnerability piece, but pausing and working on my non-judgment, trying not to judge other people, is an easy way to take a look at what, how I'm showing up.
There was this one quote that she showed in there. You are afraid of surrender because you don't want to lose control, but you never had control. All you had was anxiety. And another thing she talked about is the fear of the unknown. And so a lot of the times we're afraid to be vulnerable and let go because we're scared of what's going to happen when we're vulnerable. I have that issue. I'm working on being more vulnerable. It is hard. Like, I've been married for 12 years and I'm like, I don't want to show him my weakness. I don't want to show him my soft side. So I've been trying my hardest to be vulnerable, with that being raised with strong women. And no, they did not teach me to hate men. They were just so strong and had to protect themselves that projected off onto me. And so then I became this strong woman, and I never seen relationships where it was like you were able to be soft.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's another reason why it's scary for me to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So I'm with you on that. Some of the things that I do that helps me is, like you said, and one thing she talked about that I don't sit with, but I do sit with myself. But I'm trying to help it make myself feel better. One thing she did talk about was sitting with your emotions. It's okay to sit in these emotions. No one wants to sit in the emotions. Everybody wants to immediately feel better. And it's like, just sit with your emotions and process your emotions. So where I was just sitting with myself, I'm just going to sit with my emotions and process them. And I've done much better at sitting with them and processing them, and not first react, because I'll get mad. And if I don't go off on somebody, I'll cut them off and won't have nothing to do with them for the rest of their lives. And I'll be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And to me and my husband talked about, he talks about that with my family. He's like, you guys can just cut someone off and just not feel bad about it. And I'm just like, it is what it is. I mean, like, for me, sometimes I do feel like I've spoke and said how I felt, but maybe I didn't communicate it on the level they did. So this helps me better be able to communicate those words. So that's one thing I'm gonna work on. And educating myself. Like, I'm having so much fun. It is so important to talk about these conversations, because community is important. And if you look on the news, you look in this world, like even with the conference. Oh, it's time. Okay, well, I just want to leave you with this quote. The limits of my language means the limit of the world. So learn your language, don't limit it, sit with yourself and process your feelings. Thank you for joining Clean Greens Living Live. Up next, Traffic Jam.